Right now we have a tournament. I'm so busy. And we have the big Cadillac Championship
Donald, stop it.
going on, all the great players, the PGA Tour. And they're there. And yesterday somebody came up, said, "Sir, the tournament is great." I said, "What tournament are you talking about? I'm so busy with the Iranians calling, trying to make a good deal, and we're not going to let that happen. But they've got to make a bad deal. But if they make a deal at all, because frankly, maybe we're better off not making a deal at all. Do you want to know the truth? Because we can't let this thing go on. Going on too long."
Nobody showed up for the PGA tournament that's taking place at Donald Trump's Doral golf course. I mean, look at it right here. This major tournament started today. You can see right there, not a single person in the bleachers. I mean, maybe I see perhaps one person. This is the 2026 Cadillac Championship taking place at Trump's Doral Golf Club. There hasn't been a major tournament like this at the Doral Golf Club for over a decade. This was a very big deal to Donald Trump, and nobody showed up. Not only that, but some of the best golfers from the PGA Tour, they weren't even attending this tournament despite their eligibility for it. And I'm not just showing you like a random hole. I'm showing you the 18th green at Trump Doral, Miami. As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, writes, look at this. The crowd at the main grandstand around the 18th green at the Trump Doral, Miami today with Ricky Fowler and Colin Morikawa. I mean, two very well-known golfers, two of the biggest stars on the PGA, and it is completely empty. Now, you'll recall that Donald Trump also was putting up gigantic 15-foot tall golden statues of himself to greet the fans when nobody showed up. And the professional golfers, this is the 15-foot statue right here that he put at the entrance of his golf club, a la Kim Jong-un. Obviously, this looks like all of those Kim Jong-un golden statues and Stalin statues. It's so utterly bizarre. I'll show you some other B-roll video of this 15-foot statue right here so you can see for yourself. And folks, yes, indeed, Ricky Fowler and Colin Morikawa were playing, but in addition to no fans showing up, I mean, like none, right? Like, I'm not exaggerating here. There's like literally
Donald Trump has hit a new low in polling, and it is an ugly new low. 33%, just 33% of Americans say they approve of the job he's doing, according to the Associated Press. And that's not an outlier either. Earlier this week, NBC News had him at 37%. Reuters, their most recent poll, had him at 36%. Those are all lows for the president during this term. We are only a few months out from the midterms, and this does not bode well. Midterms already very difficult for the party in power, for them to maintain control of Congress, exponentially harder when the president is polling as poorly as he is on the Iran war, on the economy, on immigration, on all the things he was supposed to be doing well in.
We have some big news right now. Donald Trump has had a very rough day as two of his critical business ventures are failing bad. First, remember Live Golf, the Saudi-backed golf league that Donald Trump was heavily involved with? Yeah, well, it's going under. According to the Wall Street Journal, Saudi backers are now expected to pull funding from the league as early as tomorrow morning. Trump has championed this golf league. He loves this golf league, and well, it's not doing so hot. But it's not just the golf venture. His meme coin has also crashed to some of the lowest points it's ever been. Over the past several days, the Trump meme coin has crashed 97% from its peak, reaching an all-time low point for this meme coin that many MAGA people have bought up in an effort to support Trump. So his own supporters are losing money. Spread the word. Follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. I'll have another update for you very soon.
I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way, and I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 20 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good.
Just take a look at what he says he is, and take a look at what he is. Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. The reason I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf with you if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie. That he's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah. You swing. I know you swing.
Hey, let's
not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to
21
Let's not act like children.
After you become the 47th president, what are you going to do to stop the war in Ukraine?
Yeah.
So I would literally start calling, not from the day I took over, but from the night I won. And I called 2 people.
2 people.
You know who the 2 people are? Putin, right? You know who Putin is? And Zelensky.
Zelensky.
And I'd say, we're going to meet. We're going to.
That's how he would say it. He would get on the phone and he'd go, we're going to meet.
And I guarantee I could work that out.
Oh, man.
I guarantee. I know exactly what I'd say, by the way. I know exactly. I tell one guy this, and I tell one guy that, and I say, you better make a deal.
Trump's foreign policy ideas, extremely convincing to 9-year-olds.
After you become the 47th president, what are you going to do to stop the war in Ukraine?
Yeah.
So I would literally start calling, not from the day I took over, but from the night I won. And I called 2 people.
Trump's political brand has always depended on the same visual illusion. Crowds mean power. A packed room is proof. A roaring audience is legitimacy. A camera panning over cheering faces is the substitute for competence, the stand-in for results, the narcotic that lets him pretend the country is applauding rather than judging. That's why the scene in this video, Trump's much-hyped PGA tournament at Doral, playing to near-empty grandstands, lands like a psychological gut punch. Not because golf is politics, but because for Trump, golf is politics, a stage where he expects devotion, a set built to worship him, a place where he believes the world will always show up to validate the brand. And in this moment, the world doesn't. The clip is almost cruel in its simplicity. It focuses on the 18th green at Trump Doral, Miami during the 2026 Cadillac Championship. Exactly the kind of high visibility spot that should be framed by fans, noise, and the energy of a major event. The camera finds recognizable players, and then it finds rows of empty seats. The video's claim is blunt. Not a single person in the bleachers, maybe one, maybe none. And this isn't some random hole, it's the main grandstand, the showcase stage. Trump built his entire life around the idea that the crowd is inevitable. Empty seats are the one thing his ego can't litigate away. This is why the Doral moment is bigger than sports. Trump is a man who cannot tolerate being ignored. He can survive criticism because criticism still centers him. He can survive protest because protest still proves he matters. He can even survive scandal because scandal still keeps him on television. But absence, silence, indifference, non-attendance is the one form of rejection that terrifies him because it denies his core fantasy that he is the gravitational center of everything. When people don't show up, there is no enemy to attack, no fake news to blame, no dramatic confrontation to feed his narrative machine. There is just a void.
We were just laughing about it in the studio a minute ago. It was a year and a half ago this week. It was October 27th, 2024, that we all went down to New York City to the Trump rally at Madison Square Garden. It was in the final moments of that campaign. And it was really one of the most exciting political events, even after a lifetime of going to political events, I've ever been to. It was right in the middle of Manhattan, New York City, a place that did not support Donald Trump, despite the fact he's from there. And it was, again, days before the presidential election, and it was packed. You showed up and there was a line way down the block, and then the next block, and the next block after that. And the people in the line, if you looked, weren't just from other places. They were just bridge and tunnel people coming in from Long Island to support Trump. Some of them looked like they were from Manhattan. And people were excited, really excited. And you go inside and the place is just absolutely packed. I spoke at the request of the campaign and was happy to do it. And what we were laughing about a minute ago, and something I remember very well, was a sea of placards of campaign signs in the crowd, all provided by the campaign, that said, quote, mass deportations now. Mass deportations now. I remember thinking, well, that's kind of heavy. I don't think I've ever heard any candidate say mass deportations. That's kind of forbidden to talk like that. Mass deportations? But the Trump campaign was saying it without apology. And there was something thrilling about that because, on the other hand, why not? When you live in a country with more laws than anyone can keep track of, when you live in a constant state of mild anxiety that you might transgress, break one of these laws, and be held to account for it, when you live in a country that put Martha Stewart in jail for 6 months for insider trading and a lot of other people away for a lot longer than that for crimes that no one could even really understand or explain. In some cases, people committing them didn't know they were committing them. That's real. If you live in a country like that, why shouldn't foreigners who break your law at very least be asked to leave? Is that crazy? And if they're not asked to leave, then why are you obeying the law? Why are you living in fear of violating the tax code or some SEC reg or some wetlands regulation that's never been voted on, but that you can be severely punished for breaking? Filling in a vernal pool in your backyard without knowing it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If foreigners don't have to follow our laws, why are we paying our taxes? That's real. And by the way, shouldn't the people who live in a country, who are born in that country, get to decide who else lives in the country? Isn't it up to the population who comes and whether or not they want to be replaced by new people? Maybe they do. Okay. In a democratic republic, it's their right. But if they don't want to be, if they want to keep the population pretty much the same, they don't want any radical change, and that is the view of most people, why can't they have that? And if they're not getting it, if you have a rogue presidential administration that spends 4 years just inviting the rest of the world to come to the United States and live off public funds, use public schools and drive on public roads and use the emergency rooms for healthcare, thereby destroying hospitals across the country, making it impossible for poor Americans who want to get their healthcare in emergency rooms to do so, why is it crazy to make them leave and come and apply legally if they want to move here, and then turn them down if you want to? Because again, it's your country. It's up to you who lives here. None of that is crazy. And so as you looked out, or as I looked out from the stage at Madison Square Garden on this sea of placards saying mass deportations now,
Trump just put up a 15-foot gold statue of himself at his Trump National Doral Golf Club. And of course, it went up a couple days before the PGA Tour is playing there. So all of these elite golfers will have to walk by this huge statue of him. It's the Cadillac Championship. It starts today. He just could not resist somehow making this about himself. And this is not the only cringe-worthy news involving Trump and something gold this week, because only one person has signed up and fully received a Trump gold card. So if you remember, these are his $1 million cards that grant citizenship to wealthy people from around the world. He's called it a green card on steroids. Trump called this program a huge success. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick claims the program brought in $1.3 billion in revenue, which is crazy. The White House said thousands of people had paid the fee for the gold card. But now we're learning all of that is totally inflated because only one person has actually been approved and paid the $1 million fee to get this gold card. So only one singular person in the world has a Trump gold card.
The man who claims to be the greatest golfer among rich people just threw the biggest, emptiest tournament of his entire life. And honey, the bleachers did not lie. The 2026 Cadillac Championship is underway right now at Trump's Doral Golf Club in Miami. This was supposed to be Donald Trump's big comeback moment, his grand return to relevance on the PGA Tour stage. They put up a 15-foot golden statue of Trump at the entrance. I am not making this up, like a North Korean dictator greeting his subjects. And the subjects, they did not come. The grandstands around the 18th green, with actual PGA stars playing right in front of them, were completely, embarrassingly empty. But stay with me, because the golf story is actually the least of what's being exposed here. And what I'm about to tell you connects directly to 9 over 11 families, Saudi Arabia, and a quid pro quo that should make every American's blood pressure rise. Let's talk about the cheating first. because it is a perfect metaphor for everything this man does. Multiple golf pros, including people who have personally played rounds with Trump, confirm he plays like a 9 or 10 handicap. But Trump has registered himself as a 2.8, which would put him in the same category as Jack Nicklaus. His own caddies have been caught on camera with extra balls in their pockets, dropping them out of bunkers because Trump hates bunker shots. They literally have a nickname for him because he kicks his ball out of the rough so frequently, and when cameras are rolling and the rules actually apply, he has never once made the cut at Pebble Beach. Not once. He cheats at golf the same way he cheats at governing, the same way he cheats the American people. Now here's the part that connects all the dots. LIV Golf, the Saudi-backed tour that lured top players away from the PGA with enormous checks, is now being shut down. And you need to understand why. The Saudis believed they had a deal with Trump, a security umbrella in exchange for investments in his properties and his orbit. Trump blew up that arrangement with his reckless foreign policy, and now the Saudis are pulling out of non-essential American investments. LIV Golf is done. And the golfers who abandoned their PGA contracts for that Saudi money, the PGA is telling them they are not welcome back. And while all of this is collapsing, 9 over 11 families who protested these Saudi-funded tournaments at Trump's clubs for years were told by this man that nobody really knows what happened on September 11th. Those families lost everything. Their loved ones ran back into buildings to save strangers. And Trump stood at his golf club, Saudis writing his checks, and said, "We have not gotten to the bottom of it yet." A man who cheats at golf cheats on accountability every single time. The receipts are real. The bleachers are empty, and the American people are paying attention. Share this. Register to vote, because unlike his scorecards, our ballots do not lie.